Hi folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Facets of Fortune. This is a board game that supports 2 to 4 players. It's for ages 10 and up, and the average play time is about 45 minutes. You can find it on Amazon right now. If I remember, I'll put a link in the below description for you. It's going for about 25 bucks, but the prices on Amazon fluctuate based on supply and demand. So I don't know if $25 is suggested retail price or if that's just the current price that it is right now. So, sort of like what this game's going to be about. This game is about buying and selling gems in order to make the most money. There's 4 different colored gems. There's white, blue, green, and red. And you've got these markers here that will tell you what the sell price is. They'll be sliding up this track. They start at 5,000, go up to 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, all the way up to 1 million until the market crashes. When the market crashes, it's out of the game. You can't use it anymore except in rare circumstances. And the game will generally end when all 4 markets have crashed, at which point whoever has the most money wins. There are money cards over here. There's 5,000, 25,000, 100,000, 500,000, and 1 million. There's player trays to collect gems as we buy them. Each player starts a game with 3 of these cards that we deal from this deck here, and they comprise of a number of different things. There's a list of different cards in the manual here. Standard gem cards, they're used for buying and selling gems that are on the board. There's a wild gem card, same thing, free exchange, switch markets. Switch markets is one of the ways where a crashed market actually come back into play. Free gem, heist card, where you do battle with another player, and if the person that initiated the heist wins, they can steal gems from the other player, and some other things. You can also win the game if you happen to corner the market, meaning that you take all of the gems of one color and you own them and that's it. You corner the market, no matter how much money anyone has, you win the game. So that's another way that you can win. It's a bit more rare, but it's possible. So Vinny Jr. is not here to do a run-through with me today, so it's just going to be me. I'm going to go through a few turns so you can see what the game's like. I'm not going to go over all of the rules. Me reading off the manual to you is kind of boring. So I'm just going to go over a few things and highlight what I liked about it. As far as gameplay and how that works and game setup, what you're going to do is you're going to take these gems here, and these are excellent, by the way. They're just excellent quality. Love them. But you're going to put all 10 of these. There's extras in the box. Speaking of box, before I get sidetracked, there's extra gems here, extra stop here. Each player also gets one of these stop cards, and they're used for stopping the market from crashing whenever it happens. So yeah, there's baggies in here, some more of these for other players. All right, so back to this. You're going to put all 10 of the gems onto these different spaces. You're going to take the sell marker and put it on the 5,000 for each color gem. Shuffle the cards. Each player gets 3, and each player gets a stop marker there, and that's about it. So at the beginning of a player's turn, what they're going to do is they're going to roll these 2 market dice. And if you've ever played Stockpile, this die should look familiar to you. There's like a green arrow and a 1 up. There's a 1 with a down red arrow. This basically tells you which direction a particular market is going to go. Okay, there's a 2 up, a 1 up, and a 1 down. And then this die will tell you which market does it. This is all of them. This is just the white market. This is any market that the player chooses. So at the beginning of a player's turn, what they're going to do is they're going to roll the dice, and it says 1 wild. So I could 1 up and wild. So I can choose any color I want to. Let's say I'm playing as this player right now. And I decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and raise the market for, let's say, white. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now it's worth 10,000. Oh, by the way, as far as you're probably wondering, okay, well, this tells you how much you're selling it for, but what about buying? How much does it cost to buy? Well, whenever you're buying gems in this game, it goes in ascending order from lowest to highest. So you're going to start with this gem on the very bottom. That's worth 5,000, whatever it's pointing to. And then this gem here is worth 10,000. This gem here is worth 25,000, and so on. Each gem is pointing to a value. So as you go up the track and buy them, it's going to be worth more. And as you sell them back, you're going to be putting the gems back in descending order from highest to lowest. So let's say that these were gone like that, and I was selling a blue gem back. Let's say this marker was up here for 75,000, and I was going to sell one back to the market. I would put this gem here on the $25,000 slot, but I'd still make $75,000, which is where the sell marker is. If I were to buy this back at some point in the future, it's worth $25,000 because that's what this one is pointing to. So hopefully that clears up the difference between buying and selling. So anyway, we're back to this. On a player's turn, they can take 3 actions, and usually an action is just playing a card. You can buy more cards if you want to at the cost of money. You can also buy another stop card, one of these stop cards if you want. It's like $1 million to do that, so I wouldn't recommend it. It's up to you. You might have a strategic reason for doing it. Let's say that if you had some extra red gems, for example, and you're trying to get rid of it before the red market crashed, you could stop the market, sell off as many red gems as you could, and then, you know, if you needed to, buy another stop card to prevent it from crashing further, and then, you know, sell off as much as you can before it crashes. You could do that. So anyway, getting back to this, player rolls the die, they adjust the market, and then after that, they play cards. And then once they're done playing cards, they'll draw back up to 3 again. So let's say that as this player, I decide, okay, I want to buy, let's say I want to buy a red one. Oh, each player starts with a certain amount of money, by the way. I forgot to deal that out to everyone. But each player starts with 25,000. So let's just quickly do that. And there's 1 and there's 2. Okay, each player starts with 25,000. So let's say I wanted to buy 1 green gem. Okay, so this would go back into the discard pile here. And this one is pointing to 5,000. So I'd have to pay 5,000 to buy that green gem. So I'm going to turn that in and get some change. I have 20,000 now. Okay. That's one action. And then I can say buy a red gem if I wanted to. Put that in the discard pile. And this is pointing to 5,000. So I'm going to take this, pay that. All right, and there we go. You cannot use these cards to both buy and sell at the same time. It's either going to be used for buying or selling, not both. Okay, and then I can I can play this if I want to. I don't have to play it. I'm just going to choose not to play it, and then you draw back up to 3 again. Now, you can also discard before drawing up if you want to. Let's say I didn't want this 3 for whatever reason. I could discard it and then draw 3 fresh cards if I wanted to. Alright, so now it's this player's turn. This player's going to do the same thing. Roll the dice. It's a 1 down in a blue. It can't go down anymore, unfortunately. So it's going to stay where it is. And now this player's going to decide, okay, what am I going to do with mine? Well, this white one, I'm going to go ahead and, this white one is going up the track pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and buy a white diamond for 5,000. And this gets turned in, and they get 4 of these in change. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and they've got this left, and they can decide, okay, I'm going to buy, say, 2 green ones. Okay, so that's 1, 2. Can they afford that? I don't think they can afford that. It's 10,000. All right, let's take this back. All right, yeah, he's only got 20,000 left, so he couldn't do that if he wanted to. 3 red ones, he couldn't do that either. So he may decide, okay, I'm done. I'm done for right now. His hope is, I want another white card so I can sell that gem and make some good money. So he's going to go ahead and discard these 2 cards and draw back up to 3 like I was explaining earlier. Unfortunately, he got some high ones too. Alright. And this is going to continue going back and forth. Players are going to be rolling this dice, affecting the market in different ways. It's a 1-up and all markets move up. There we go. And I apologize for the traffic in the background. It's raining outside and it makes the noise 10 times worse. Alright, so this player gets to go again. He takes a look at the market and says, blue's moving up. No one's touched that yet. I might as well cash in on that while I can. He's only got 20,000 though. He has a green gem that he could possibly sell for 10,000. He bought it for 5,000, so selling it now, like he bought this for 5,000, but it's on the 10,000 spot right now. So he could trade this in. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and trade this in. He's going to put this green one back. But the sell marker is on the 10,000 right now. So he gets 10,000 from the bank. All right. So there's that. That's one action. And now a blue one. He's going to go ahead and buy, say, 1 blue one for 5,000. Just take that. And this 3 blue, he really can't do much with. He's going to just get rid of that and draw 3. Oh, nice, a free one. This one, just basically you take one from free, from the bottommost one. There's also a heist one in here. That's actually a good one. And this is a wild, so you can do it pretty much anything you want with it. At least I'm pretty sure. All right, wild gem card. Yep. Okay, so now this player gets to go. He's going to roll the dice. He's going to affect the market. One wild. He sees that he has a white one, so he's going to adjust the market on white up to 50,000. And then he doesn't have a white one, unfortunately, so he doesn't have a white card, so he's going to try and get that at some point. The question is, does he want to invest in other markets right now? The only one that he could possibly invest in maybe is the red here for 10,000. So let's say he decides to give that up, take this, and he gives up 10,000, 1, 2. All right. And let's say he doesn't really want this 3 red right now. I mean, he might want to keep that in the future for selling that red one there. He's got 2 green. So he could buy these 2 for one. That's for 15,000. Does he have 15,000? He only has 10,000 left. Okay, so at this point in time, I think he's good to go. He's going to get rid of this green card and focus on something else, I think. So he's going to draw 2 more cards to replace these, and so on and so forth. This player goes, rolls the dice, affects the market, 1 wild. He has, let's see, he might want to move up blue because he's getting a free blue one anyway. So let's go ahead and it's a 1 wild. We're going to move this up to 25,000. He's going to then play this free card to take this. Then he might try a heist. He's going to try a heist on the other player. They're going to battle each other. They're both going to roll dice. Let's say that was a 6. Let's say this was a 2, just for the sake of argument. And this was a 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. He steals 2 gems from him, and that's it. So that heist is pretty darn powerful, considering that was a lot of his assets. In fact, I don't know how he's going to possibly recover from this. I don't know if he can or not. We'll see. He might there's more free gem cards in here to where you might be able to recover from something like that. All right. So anyway, he's got 1 of these left. Let's say he decides to use this to, whenever you use a wild card, you have to pick 1 color. You can't just choose, let's say it was like a 3 wild or something like that. You can only choose 1 color for all of the gems that you've decided for that color. So let's say we're going to turn that in as 1 blue. We're going to sell it, put this back on the 10,000 space. This is 25,000, so he gets 25,000 from that. So right now this player's doing very well. We've got a lot of gems. We draw back up to 3. And so on and so forth. So that is the gist of Facets of Fortune. Granted, I didn't cover all of the rules in the rule book. For example, there's the switch markets cards. Whenever a market is crashed, for example, you can actually start using it again. Whenever a market crashes, by the way, players have to discard all of the cards of that color in their hand and get rid of all the gems, I believe. But it's possible for it to come back into play at some point in the future using the switch market card. There's some other things in here. You get an instant 100k bonus if you happen to collect 3 cards of the same color. These wild gem cards cannot be used as one. So if I had a 3 red, a 2 red, and a 1 red, or 1 red, 1 red, 3 red, whatever, this player could collect 100,000 as a one-time bonus, which should definitely help him out right now, considering the circumstances. Free exchange card, you can swap 1 gem for another gem. So yeah, lots of different things going on here. Let's go ahead and put a cut in the video here, but I do want to offer some quick thoughts to you. Facets of Fortune, I gotta say, the components are lovely. For a $25 game, that's the price on Amazon as of right now. For a $25 game, this is pretty darn beautiful, I gotta say. The cards shuffle well. They're a little flimsy. They're not like fixed stock cards, but they do shuffle well. The gems, this is what I'm most impressed with. This is just awesome. I mean, these look great. The colors, this would just, from across the room, you could spot this game, and it's beautiful to look at. I love the color scheme. And as far as like the general gameplay goes, it's fairly simple. There are a few rules in here that are easy to miss. Again, this 100k bonus, for example, or how to switch markets. There's a long paragraph here dedicated to using the switch market card on a market that's crashed. Trying to think. There's also a huge section here about crashed markets, what happens in a crash. It's easy to miss something small when playing this game. Even though the manual is relatively light, you still want to maybe read this a couple of times to get an idea so that you're not missing something. But again, in my household, the first time we play a game, we're not going to play it perfectly. In fact, I don't care if we play it perfectly. As long as we have fun, that's the important thing. And I can see ourselves having fun with this. There is some strategy here in the gems that you decide to buy based on the current buy and sell values. Like right now, this market is extremely valuable. You can buy gems for really cheap right now, but the sell price is 100,000. So based on that, you may want to discard cards of a particular color in order to go for cards of a particular color, but you're not guaranteed to draw them. So there's still a luck factor in this game. You know, in a stock market game, there's going to be luck. That's just something that you have to accept. The stock market is kind of luck. You can strategize all you want, but if you're not going to draw any blue cards from the deck, you're kind of in trouble, and it may crash before you have a chance to buy it. Yes, you can negate that with a stop, maybe, you know, and maybe that'll help you out, but still. One thing I might suggest trying is, you notice this player kind of ran into a situation where they're in trouble. They only have $10,000 left, and they have no gems. This player stole them all. I would strongly recommend that players start more with 25,000 at the beginning of the game. Maybe 35, 45,000. In fact, the third or fourth player starts with, the third player and fourth player start with $35,000 each. In a two-player game, I would recommend that both players start with something, say 35,000. Maybe that way there's not the chance that they might run into trouble. Again, that's just a suggested variant that you may want to try out. Didn't try it out, so you know there's some balancing issues there. So my recommendation is give it a try, see if it's something that might be better. Because right now, this player may not be able to come back. They're going to have to wait for maybe a heist card themselves. There's some free ones in here. But the chances of them getting it in time to actually make a difference, this player might be a runaway. You know, they might be able to get more and more money, buy more gems. And this player, you know, they're going to be buying up all these gems. And this player won't be able to buy any gems anymore because they'll be too expensive for him to buy. So it's possible for a runaway leader to happen in this game. So that's why I'm suggesting there's got to be some way to balance this. What happens when one player gets too low on money and can't participate anymore? So that's the only thing that I can think of. Yes, again, free gems. There's free gems in here. There's free exchanges. But there's got to be some way that a player can come back without falling too far behind. And that's the only thing about this game that I'm kind of worried about. But other than that, Facets of Fortune is pretty awesome. If you guys do want to see a full run-through of this, let me know. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to my channel and check out my official website, www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.